What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and there's a lot to cover today, whether it's the YouTube video game scene, gaming in general, or entertainment news, movie news. I oftentimes will respond to things. Part of responding to some of those things is responding to other content creators. And YouTube has shared at Vidcon that they have decided to roll out some new policies about creator on creator, I will call it critiques, because we all know when that's what they really mean. But before I get into this, I want to take just 1 second, thank this video sponsor, Amino apps. Now, before I get into the rest of today's video, I want to let you know that Amino has just launched a new stories feature filled with loads of short videos about the things that you're into, like video games, board games, and even dank memes. I'm going to be posting exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and short thoughts on Amino. I already have a top 5 video games, most memorable video game story created up there for you. And to find me on the Amino app is very easy. You just go to the search feature on the top here and select users. And then you type in The Quartering, one word, and you'll find my profile. And if you do so, you should maybe give me a follow there so you can get notified of all my updated posts and things like that going on. Now, I hope to meet you, hang out with you over on the Amino app. You can see it will show you The Quartering when it comes up. I have but 4 measly follows and 1 story. I'm going to be beefing that up. So, hope to see you out on Amino. Hey, I look forward to connecting with you out on Amino. You know, I've got to stay with the times. I refuse to get a Snapchat, but I'll try out Amino at least. Seems to be a pretty thriving community there. Now, this policy is about creator on creator harassment, which of course just means critique. And there are rules coming. And these rules will go above and beyond the standard rules that already apply to creators. Now, when I first read this through, I was certain this was basically about response videos. But now I'm starting to think more a bigger picture about maybe protecting corporations like movie trailers, who will often get dunked on by many YouTube commentators, or big video game channels like IGN or Kotaku, Polygon. When they put out horrible hot takes in the gaming industry, they will often get dunked on by many people on YouTube. I wondered at first if this was individual on individual, but now I'm actually thinking that this new rule is set to protect corporations. YouTube's chief product officer, Neil Mohan, has revealed that the company is working on new creator-on-creator policies that will be announced later this year. Mohan made the announcement at Vidcon 2019, a conference for digital video creators, but did not provide any specific details on what these policies will entail. Now, we've all been there. We've all made mistakes. I'm sure there will be a point at which my channel itself is subject to widespread criticism. I definitely still think of myself as a small channel, but oftentimes people will tweet me videos of other people critiquing my videos, and it's such a weird thing to even think of. I don't care about them. They don't bother me. But I think when you talk about big situations like the Pro Jared or James Charles, or, you know, where you're getting thousands of videos made about you, or we look at the Etika situation, you know, it's easy to see how YouTube might want to apply this sort of thing, but I have different thoughts on it. So in a comment made to CNET, we know they're high quality journalism, YouTube said that the introduction of these new policies was not spurred by Carlos Maza's claim that comedian Steven Crowder's jokes constituted harassment against him, and subsequent legacy media campaign that pressured YouTube to take action against Crowder. However, it was not clear what else could have led to YouTube making the change. I think this article forgets about the Etika situation, but, you know, I think maybe that's it. But, you know, the thing with him, it really wasn't, I don't think when you look at that whole situation, it wasn't really like a lot of people making videos about him. So maybe, yeah, I guess that probably wasn't it. But that's why I think it's something else, which I'll explain in a minute. There haven't been any other high-profile incidents where a YouTube creator claimed they were being harassed by another creator. YouTube introduced new fake words rules that offend people, words that offend people rules, I'll call that, in the wake of Maz's complaints, which led to many seemingly innocuous YouTube channels being demonetized or deleted. In a further update, this is the scariest part about it, okay? YouTube said it may take action against creators even if they don't violate community guidelines. Now, who comes to mind for me in like our world, creators they might be talking about? Well, what about all those channels like shout out to Sean Ranklin, which are pretty much, you know, in existence, living within fair use and hilariously pointing out, I might add, dunking on Wings of Redemption. You could argue that, you know, that entire channel is built on that. You know, a channel like Memology, whose channel is built on pointing out hypocrisy, much like myself, but more specifically, many times with other creators. Could they have these type of channels in their crosshairs? Channels that, by the way, I enjoy, channels that I think are hilarious and absolutely should exist. But do you think maybe that would qualify as that? And the frightening thing is what basically what they're saying is, hey, if you're dunking on a creator too often, we're going to penalize your channel, even if you're staying within the existing rules. Like, are you kidding me, YouTube? So we know, my viewers, you all know exactly how this is going to get enforced. Completely unevenly. It's going to get enforced. You know, like irrelevant creators like Zombie Unicorn will use this policy to get channels taken down. Irrelevant people like Carlos Maza will use this to get channels taken down or penalized. Nobody who might actually genuinely be receiving problems from other YouTube channels will ever see any relief from this. This is purely a PR move. This is a move to please blue check marks. We know this. You know, are there channels on YouTube that legitimately cross the line? Probably. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I can't pick one out in the top of my head. Presumably there's channels that, you know, line up brigades on other people's live streams and do bad, you know, just they go beyond the pale. I'm sure there are channels like that, and I don't think many people would be up in arms about these rules being enforced against them. But we all know that's not how this is going to work. It's going to work when somebody with a tiny bit of Twitter clout, and let's be clear, it's only Twitter that gets any interest in YouTube, or from the YouTube policy people. We see this every time a channel is wrongfully deleted or, you know, disappeared. It takes a Twitter outrage for anyone to really notice, but it's going to be frightening. Again, even if they don't violate. YouTube's reasoning for this is that if a creator's behavior is deemed to be egregious, okay, so it's in their opinion, and harms the broader community, YouTube may need to take action against them, regardless of whether they've actually broken any rules. Now, as a creator, this is especially frustrating because it's already, many of you have pointed out, Jeremy, why do you change certain words? Why do you dance around saying certain things? You know what? If YouTube told me what words I could say and what words I couldn't say, then I could at least make a conscious decision on whether or not I wanted to say it. But they don't tell creators anything. They don't tell us anything about the rules that we're supposed to be following. So the idea that you can punish people, right now the way they do it is with the yellow check mark on your video so you can't run ads. But now you're talking about having this nebulous rule that, you know, who defines what egregious is? Is it because you made one video that got a million views, for example? Or is it that you made a million videos that each got 2 views? We're never going to know. If YouTube follows the way it does any other time they have a policy like this, we're never going to know exactly why a channel was punished. And that's the frustrating thing about this. We already can barely understand the rules. You know, I think what I understand is like telling people directly to go like downvote something or telling people to brigade on Twitter or Twitch. These are things that YouTube wouldn't like, okay? And I can generally support that. But this new rule, we have no idea. It's just another way for, in my opinion, this will just be another way to silence critics. And that's exactly how they're going to use it, in my opinion. I think at first I thought this was about creator on creator, but then I started thinking deeper. I put my tinfoil hat on a little bit, and I started thinking about, well, who's this really to protect? Who really has influence with YouTube? It's the corporations. It's the big media. And, when IGN puts out a video and 100 game creators, 100 like irrelevant neckbeards in their basement like myself, or female versions of neckbeards, I don't know what you'd call them, but, all dunking on them, they don't like that. That's why they often will turn off their like and dislike buttons, and they'll turn off their comments. They don't like getting critiques. Hollywood doesn't like it when they put out an absolute trash trailer and everyone points it out. They don't like criticism. They want you to just consume what they give you and then immediately get excited about the next thing they want you to consume. They don't like independent commentators like myself to wield some of the power against them. They want to control the narrative. And they figure that if they can silence a few channels, they get me and 3 or 4 other channels, okay, you've silenced a lot of your criticism, and it doesn't take much, especially when we're trying to follow rules that we have no idea what they even are. These new rules and further update YouTube already will continue to cover genuine harassment and even allow YouTube to punish creators for making jokes, as we saw with the Crowder case. Given what we've seen with YouTube's previous rule changes this year, these new creator-on-creator rules are probably going to have little impact when it comes to stopping real problems, but instead make it even harder for creators to challenge, debate, criticize, joke about, or respond to content from other creators on the platform. I 100% agree with that. If it isn't about protecting big business, then it's absolutely about protecting the right ideas. We know that they have this definition of what's actually good. It's their version of good and just, even though it might not be our version. So if you're speaking the correct words, if you have the right narrative, you're going to be protected by these rules. That is absolutely true. We've seen it a million times. But I'm wondering if this is also in place. I wonder if, people like WB putting out the Batwoman trailer and getting universally dunked on by YouTubers, are they going to call the WB a creator as well? It's going to be an interesting conversation down in the comments section down below, which I look forward to reading. Thanks again for this video sponsor. If you made it to the end, please remember to, before you leave, like the video. We'll talk to you again real soon.